Hello kids and welcome to another episode of Kahaniyon ki Almari. Today I'm going to narrate a beautiful story, Rip Van Winkle. This is my all-time favorite story and I hope you all will enjoy it. Once upon a time there was a man named Rip Van Winkle. He was a fun-loving fellow who lived in a village surrounded by huge, towering mountains. He was a kind neighbor, ready to help anyone. Everyone in the village liked him. Rip wasn't a big fan of doing chores or working. He preferred playing and having a good time instead. The children of the village shouted with joy whenever they saw him because he played with them. He taught them to fly kites and shoot marbles and told them long stories. His dog Wolf was Rip's constant friend. He would take his dog into the woods and disappear to avoid going to work. His fences were disintegrating. His cow was wandering off. His farm was a wheat farm due to his negligence. One day, his wife got angry and forced him to do any work or leave the house. Rip decided to go for a walk up the mountains. He simply continued walking till he reached the mountain's highest point. He was tired after his long climb, so he lay down and began daydreaming. As dusk came near, he recognized that by the time he arrived in his village, it would be dark. Suddenly, he was astonished to hear someone yell, "Rip Van Winkle! Rip Van Winkle!" A short, elderly man with thick hair and grizzled beard was approaching him with the barrel. He made signs to help him carry the barrel. Rip quickly offered assistance to the man who held his hand tightly. Together they went to an area where some further strange-looking males having beard were playing nine-pin. They were all dressed the same way and all of them had beards of various shapes and colors. Even though they were playing a game, their faces were serious and there was silence. The boom of the balls was the sole sound and it echoed like thunder in the mountains. They invited Rip to join in and he couldn't resist. "Hey Rip, come play with us. It's so much fun," called out one of the little men. Rip laughed and replied, "Sure, why not? Count me in." They laughed, rolled balls, and had a blast playing together. Rip was amazed how good these little people were at the game. "You guys are great at this. I have never seen such skilled players," Rip exclaimed. After some time, Rip felt tired. His colleagues forced Rip to drink the barrel's juice after emptying it into glasses. Rip obeyed. He drank a couple more cups because he was still thirsty before falling off to sleep. Well, guess what? Rip didn't just take a short nap. He slept for a long time. While Rip was snoozing away, the seasons changed and the world transformed around him. When he finally woke up, he couldn't believe his eyes. Everything looked different. He looked around for Wolf, his dog, but he was nowhere. Rip whistled for him. "Wolf! Wolf!" He then shouted. No dog was to be seen. Where has this dog gone? People had different clothes, buildings had changed, and even the trees seemed bigger. Rip was totally, extremely surprised. He looked around in awe and muttered to himself, "What in the world happened? How long was I asleep?" Suddenly, his grown-up daughter, who he hadn't seen in years, spotted him and ran over with a big smile on her face. "Dad, is that really you? You have been gone for so long." Rip hugged his daughter tightly and replied, "Yes, it's me, sweetheart. I can't believe how much time has passed. I've missed you so much." From that day on, Rip Van Winkle learned an important lesson about time. He understood that we shouldn't take it for granted and that life can change when we least expect it. And whenever people in the village saw Rip, they would say, "Hey Rip, remember not to take such a long nap next time." And Rip would laugh. So kids, have you enjoyed the story? The story was really interesting. Children, we must remember that life might change unexpectedly and that we shouldn't take everything for granted.